So let's discuss another case study on SBL. So introduction. Nehby Company. Nehby is a family business which owns and operates 8 restaurants in Caputo, the capital city of country of Sealand. Caputo is located in the south of the country. So Nehby company name. They are having 8 restaurants in Caputo. In Caputo is an area in a country of Sealand in Caputo, situated on south of the Sealand. Nehby has been in business for the last 35 years. During that time, the company has created some of Caputo's most iconic and best loved restaurants. The theme of their success is renovating and restoring historic buildings, transforming each one into a beautiful and original restaurant. The original founder, Graham Nehby, is also the chief executive officer of the business, CEO. Graham has a strong personality, and his views have tended to dominate the direction of the business to date. Graham's 3 sons have all joined the family business and together with Graham form the board of Nehby. Figure 1 below shows the current reporting structure and ownership of the business. Chief Executive Officer Graham Nehby having a 40% shareholding of the business. Finance and IT Director is John Nehby having a 20% shareholding. Restaurant Operation Peter Nehby having 20% shareholding. HR and Marketing Andrew Nehby having 20% shareholding. Incomplete 100% shareholding is with the family. This is a family business. And then below them, there are restaurant managers who manage operations on each restaurant. So the Nehby board is considering the future strategic direction and investment plan for the business. So they are concerned about deciding their future and they are going to make investment for the business. The son have suggested, the sons have suggested that Nehby should pursue a strategy to product diversification. Product diversification. Mean they should expand their product and enter the hotel industry. Currently, they are having 8 restaurants, but sons what business should be entered into hotel industry. They have identified a new business opportunity in the north of Sealand to renovate and restore a historic building, formerly a bank, and turn it into a hotel, which will be operated by Nehby. However, granddad, father, believes that the business should continue with its current business model of converting historic and iconic buildings in capital city into restaurants and wants Nehby to open and other new restaurants in Kapur. So grandfather wants we should remain in our restaurant business while sons want we should diversify our business. We should open a hotel. Graham and his 3 sons want to seek advice and guidance about the opportunities available to them. They have commissioned you as an independent self-employed management consultant to provide them with information and analysis to support their future expansion plan and advise them about their choice of strategic direction. And they want information analysis and help in decision making whether they should remain in restaurant industry and open a new restaurant or they should move towards hotel industry. You have collected and analyzed the following information, exhibit 1 to 6, to help with your case. There are only 6 exhibitions. First exhibit, articles on the success of Nehby restaurant published in the Caputo Post newspaper. In this article will provide information about the Nehby's business. Exhibit 2, a transcript of the views of each member of Nehby board on company performance to date and future strategic direction of the business. Transcript of the views mean all 4 main members of Nehby business will provide their views, and their views are in exhibit 2. Exhibit 3, information on the 2 investment plan prepared by John Nehby, finance director. What are the 2 investment plan? Restaurant plan, hotel plan. Exhibit 4, article on the hospitality industry in Sealand. What is the hospitality industry? Hotel industry. Exhibit 5, Nehby company financial and management accounting information. Extract for the year ended 30th March 20X0. And exhibit 6, a transcript of an interview shown on Talking Stock, a Sealand television program which looks at business topics. I mean, there is TV interview with somebody. So exhibit 6 is having detail of that TV interview Talking Stock. Stock investment, either in shares, either in debt. So there are 6 exhibits. The case requirements are included in the task shown below. Nehby company is now considering whether to continue with the current business model for renovating an historic building and transforming it into restaurant in Caputo, or to diversify the portfolio investment and enter the hotel industry by converting the former bank situated in the north of Sealand into a hotel. The board of Nehby has requested an independent report on the 2 mutually exclusive investment options they are considering. What you need to do? Prepare a report which assess and appraise the 2 options from a strategic perspective. You need to assess, appraise, evaluate 2 options, 2 strategies. How we can assess option, how we can evaluate option? By applying GSW3 test, suitability, acceptability, feasibility. The report should allow the board of Nehby to compare and contrast the 2 options. To compare and contrast the 2 options, this means instead of evaluating each option separate, we need to evaluate both options together. While discussing suitability, we need to discuss suitability of both options. While discussing acceptability from stakeholder point of view, we need to discuss both. Suitability. But we need to see in suitability, we need to see whether this option is helping in achieving objective of the organization or not. I mean, this option is aligned with the objective of the organization or not. This option is aligned with the history, past experience of the organization or not. Hotel is not aligned with history. Whether this option is going to deal with competition, whether this option is according to current position or factors relating to position or not. According to political factor, pastoral factors, according to five forces factor, according to internal strength, weaknesses, we need to discuss according to position. Acceptability. We need to discuss whether strategy option is acceptable from stakeholders' point of view or not. What are the stakeholders? They will provide information into the who are the stakeholders involved. Otherwise, normally we need to see from customer point of view, from management point of view, from employee point of view, from government point of view, if government is involved, if there is any information about government. Otherwise, we will see who are the other stakeholders who are involved in this decision. And then we need to see whether this option is feasible or not. In feasibility, we need to see whether organization is having resources to implement this strategy or not. What kind of resources, whether organization is having financial resources or not, whether organization is having the human resources or not, and whether organization is having physical resources, technology, assets or not. And here we can use different accounting ratios, especially from financial point of view, gearing, GP margin, current ratio. These we can calculate. Profit margin we can calculate from management point of view, from objective point of view. Okay, so we need to evaluate the two options, either hotel or restaurant. So moving towards data. What is the requirement B? What is the requirement 3? What is the requirement 4? We don't know. Exhibit 1, article published in the Caputo News Post newspaper. Another prestigious award for Nehby company. Elite restaurant business continue to move forward. Elite restaurant business mean they are targeting rich class, high class. The most recent award, one is the longest line of acknowledgements from the industry, is a special award for the significant contribution Nehby has made in shaping Caputo's dining scene for 35 years. It is a driving force behind some of Caputo's best loved restaurants, and the award is in recognition of their visionary approach and attention to detail, which has never faltered in the 35 years the company has been in business. They are praising the business. The company operates 8 hotels in Caputo. Its philosophy for success has been to masterfully renovate historic buildings, transforming each one into an original restaurant. The 8 restaurants are institutions where you are likely to see high-profile film stars and famous sports personalities, as well as government ministers. The clientele and demanding and refined are the rich and influential of Sealand society. Many of those who frequent the restaurant have been loyal to Nehby Company since the opening of its first restaurant. The restaurant provides wonderful menus, serving only best quality food cooked to perfection. The Nehby Company's restaurant have always provided a perfect balance of service, ambience, and quality of food without an over emphasis on one or the other. I mean, they are focusing on high quality atmosphere, high quality food, etc. This has been achieved by careful attention to detail and an absolute hands-on approach, and a board member often being present in the restaurant because it's family business. So they also seem to have an initiative, a sense of what restaurant goers want from the experience and the ability to attract and command intense loyalty from senior staff in an industry known for high staff turnover. They have a talent for bringing together strong teams who run exceptionally busy outlet with complete regularity and precision. Means staff are loyal. There are relatively few people who can open a restaurant in Caputo with as much instant glamour as Nehby. The very best restaurants are like a film set in which diners have a play both cast and audience, and no restaurant know this better than the Nehby executives. In their atmosphere, their arrangement is like a film scene. Over the years, they have collected plenty of awards, featuring in lists such as top 50 restaurants in Caputo. Their many awards are deserved acknowledgement for their role at the forefront of Caputo's rise to becoming one of the culinary capital of the world. The industry rumors are that Nehby is looking to expand its portfolio and open its first hotel. This is the company's opportunity to perform on a bigger stage than ever before. The board members just need to prepare for their audience at the hotel in the same way they have prepared in the restaurants. Long may their success continue. Just information about the company. For time wasting. Is about the company. They focus on high quality, something like that. And they are going to open new hotel. There is nothing new. Exhibit 2. Transcript of the interview which were held between you and each member of the Nehby board. You asked each member of the board to express their thoughts of company performance to date and the future strategic direction of the company. Below is the transcript of their views. Graham Nehby, CEO. I'm very clear about our future strategic direction. We should continue to build on our strengths and core competence by expanding our restaurant portfolio in Caputo. One of our clear aim is to maintain growth in our core markets by retaining the values associated with our current restaurants. If we continue to deliver excellent service and our unique and innovative fine dining atmosphere, we will continue to differentiate ourselves effectively from the competition and deliver more of the success we have achieved to date. And he is concerned about expansion in current business restaurant because he believes if we move towards any other area, might be we will lack something in our core business. So might be we will not be able to deal with the competition. We have been successful in attracting and commanding intense loyalty from our restaurant staff. We know that the restaurant industry is renowned for long working hours, and often kitchen staff will work longer hours than they are actually paid for. Despite this, our staff turnover is relatively low in an industry known for high staff turnover. In industry, staff turnover is a high, but companies having loyal staff mean for company staff turnover is low. I know that to expand the business, we will need a cash injection. And if we undertake the hotel project, it is likely to come from a venture capitalist. What is venture capitalist? Venture capitalist means investor who invest in growing business, especially innovative business. For what purpose? For generating return. But they normally want to invest in equity. They don't provide a loan show. they invest in equity, growing business, innovative business, especially small businesses, startups. I fear that will mean substantial changes to the input the board will have in the future strategic direction. And he don't want to distribute his shareholding to others. He don't want to reduce his shareholding. Currently, they are running like a family business because all 100% shareholding within the family. But he think like if we need to move towards hotel, we need finance, and for finance, we need to include venture capitalist, and by including outsider people, obviously we need to take importance to their views. So this will affect the current decision making process of the business. I understand that external investor can bring benefit. We can have some good idea from external investors. And I know there are weaknesses that we need to address, not least our reacting planning approach, which has meant that on occasions we have missed potential opportunities which we should have exploited. Currently they are working on reactive planning approach. If there is any problem, then they are deciding how to resolve this problem. There is no pre-planned proactive approach planning. Our reactive approach means we can change the strategy as we see fit. This approach is unlikely to be sustainable once the business has external ownership. Obviously, if external owners are coming, they need something should be planned before having the problems. Company need to set a future strategic direction. Company need to prepare long-term plan and they should work on it on proactive basis. We can currently take a longer term views. Obviously, family business, they don't want profit. They want business should be maintained, business growth should be maintained, and have the freedom to act in our own best interest, which may involve taking decisions that are not wholly intended to maximize profit or wealth. While if external investors are coming, some investor might be investing for short-term purpose, getting return. So they will focus on maximizing profit rather than long-term prospects of the business. Decision making will be changed. I can see that my expensive company car will not be seen as essential for potential external investor. And he's using expensive company car. So he's saying might be external investor will not allow that. I believe the car we drive are part of the status and reward for a job well done. So these are the views of main founder, CEO, Graham Nehby. You don't want to move towards hotel because to open a hotel, we need more investment. And for investment, we need to involve more external investor. And more external investor mean we need to change the way we are doing our business. In culture, structure, system, we need to change. John Nehby, Finance and IT Director. Our current investment criteria are for project to deliver a positive NPV at the cost of capital chosen and to achieve a payback within 5 years. How we evaluate new investment based on the NPV. If NPV is positive, we will make investment, otherwise we don't make. And we set a payback period of 5 years. If any investment is paying back within 5 years, we will make investment. If any investment is paying in more than 5 years, obviously we will not invest. This is the criteria they have set. Evaluation and authorization are only the first step of the investment process. It is important to report regularly on progress to enable effective monitoring and control of the investment project. The degree of commitment, enthusiasm, and drive of the board is implementing a project is a major factor in determining our success to date and the success or failure of the option we choose for our next investment. I'm very excited about the extraordinary property that we have identified in the regeneration belt of in the north of Sealand. The building was formerly a bank and has a beautiful facade, a riverside location, and a rooftop terrace that has magnificent view over the largest city in the north of country. The feel of the property is one that could be developed into a grand hotel once it has undergone a sympathetic renovation. I believe we should try and take any first mover advantage available to us. They want, sons want, company should move towards hot. We should also be taking advantage of the grants that are available for business choosing to invest in north of Sealand. The government has ring fenced more than $3 billion of development activity, which indicate an ambitious regeneration policy which we would be foolish not to be a part of. Mean Hotel is having positive political factor as well. A venture capitalist will be committed to our success in a way that the bank is not. A bank will get the same amount of interest on our loan regardless of how well we are doing. The current terms with our bank stipulate that our gearing does not reach 45% and that we remain solvent. A venture capitalist return, on the other hand, grows in proportion on how success we become. Mean we need money obviously for expansion, and there are two sources of money. Either we can generate money through equity, mean venture capitalist, or through bank loan. And bank loan they require interest. And they are having some conditions as well, like a gearing should not be more than 45%. And either we are performing well or not, we need to pay the interest, while venture capitalist will get their return based on the performance profitability of the company. So in singing away some measures of control in the form of shares, we also gain a powerful ally to help realize our plan. Venture capitalists will also help us in planning, decision making, strategy making. So we don't have the appetite or capacity as a family to do this alone. Mean we need somebody who should invest for the project. Finance sector. Peter Nehby, restaurant operations. My initial concern was not being able to finance the hotel without external investment and the potential dilution of my shareholding. Obviously, if external investors are coming, their shareholding will be diluted. 20%, it might be reduced towards 15%, 12%, something like that. I would want, however, after careful consideration of both the benefits and drawbacks, I am now excited about a new venture into hotel. My main concern now is that the hotel sector is characterized by high operational gearing. So that would be one aspect of the business I would want to monitor carefully, especially when economic conditions take a downturn. The strength of the hospitality industry is a measure of the wealth in people's pocket. And so costs will need to be carefully monitored when there is uncertainty in the economic climate. Operation diagram. He is saying what will be my main concern while operating hotel. Our success is based on a strong set of values which we expect each member of staff to promote and live by. Our careful crafted mission statement reflect those values to deliver hospitality from the heart to create a great place to eat, which combine an intriguing atmosphere with excellent and interesting food, where customer satisfaction is paramount and where people, staff, and customers feel they belong. I know that my experience with the restaurant can be transferred to the hotel venture, and that the mission statement can evolve to take account of the new addition to the portfolio. I'm also looking forward to creating a restaurant space in the hotel that deliver a real sense of occasion. In hotel, you want, I will also open a restaurant as well. Andrew Nehby, HR and marketing. The market conditions are suggesting that maybe it is now time to diversify our portfolio. It will still be important that we continue with the values that have delivered our success to date. And for us to stand out from the crowd, we will be transferring our values into the hotel sector of the industry. The hotel project plan is for 67 bedroom, including 16 suites. Food will be a major part of the hotel with an 80-seat main restaurant in the center of the hotel and a bar and a lounge that will serve food throughout the day. We will take room service very seriously with our 24 hours operation with the same attention to detail as provided in the main restaurant. We intend to take the quality of service and our choice experience in the restaurant into the bedroom and suites. We know that restaurants play a bigger role than ever in hotels, so we are still playing to our core strength. And even if we are moving towards hotel, we are not leaving restaurant behind. We will open a new restaurant in the hotel as well. We have achieved significant recognition for our restaurant, and I see no reason why that should not extend it to the hotel sector. I have already made inquiries about becoming a member of the Worldwide Luxury Hotels Elite Group. This is an organization representing the finest hotel in the world. Only the world's most distinguished properties are admitted into its membership, and this would be a great marketing tool. If during the development we keep in mind the criteria needed to meet their restaurant, then I am reliably informed that we would be awarded this status within 6 months of offering. So these are the views of all four current board members of the Nehby Hotels. Exhibit 3. Information for the two investment plans. John Nehby has put together information on the two potential mutually exclusive investment options, restaurant and hotel. Background on investment: restaurant. Expansion of our existing restaurant business, opening a new restaurant in Caputo, taking our total restaurant portfolio to 9. If we move towards hotel, open a hotel in the north of Sealand, which would qualify for government grant towards renovation costs. This will add a new product to our overall portfolio. So from suitability point of view, both options seem better to achieve objective of the organization relating to their core beliefs, core strength. From position point of view, currently company position is strong. Either they move towards restaurant, they will be having strong position maintained. Either they move towards a hotel, they can get some benefits through government grant, and they can make their future position even more stronger by moving towards any other kind of business. Competition point of view, in restaurant, they might be dealing the competition properly now, but in future, if the market become saturated means more competitors have entered into the market, it will be difficult to manage the market. But moving to hotel, if the restaurant market becomes saturated, they can generate their revenue, their profitability, their survival from different business area like hotel. Initial investment outlay. For restaurant, they need $5 million investment. The basis for determining the initial investment outlay is the actual cost incurred in the renovation of our latest restaurant added to our current portfolio 15 months ago. In this 5 million is relating to renovation physical asset requirement for the new hotel or for the new restaurant. While for hotel, they need $21 million. And the basis for determining the initial investment outlay is information sourced from industry experts who have recent involvement in hotel renovation project. So hotel required more investment, 21 million, while restaurant required only 5 million. Investment mean investment risk is higher in hotel. Proposed project commencement, a building has been identified and has been held on reserve. But if this falls through, then it may be hard to find another suitable property due to scarcity of a building in Caputo, which will meet the business requirement. While for a hotel, former bank identified and has been held on reserve. But if this falls through, there are other available properties which would meet the business requirement. We can still find any other good property. But for our restaurant, there is only one good property. If we leave, then we will not be finding a good property for restaurant. Project duration, 3 months once a final agreement negotiated and finance structure is agreed. Thing can be completed within 3 months. While a hotel, 9 months once a final agreement, negotiation and financing structure is agreed. Cash flow analysis. The net cash flow are based on figures achieved for the latest restaurant added to the current portfolio 15 months ago. While for hotel, 9 months, the net cash flows do not include any of the government grant which may be obtained for the renovation work. The cash inflows are based on 65% occupancy rate in year 2, 3, 4. Mean first years occupancy rate will be lower, rising to 85% in year 5, 6, and 7, and are calculated using average daily room rate per rented room for the industry as a whole. And discount factor for restaurant is 8%, for hotel is 10% because hotel investment is considered to be high risky. They have calculated the NPV. For restaurant in year 0, you will put a 5 million investment. Year 1 to 7, you will generate these inflows. Applying discount factor, they have calculated NPV of 0.65 million. While for hotel, in year 0, they need to invest 21 million. In year 1, there will be no inflow. In year 2, 3, 4, with the 65% occupancy rate, while with year 6, 7, 8, there will be 85% occupancy rate. Applying discount factor, it's having NPV of 2.893 million. So according to NPV, which option seems better? Hotel, because it gives higher NPV. But both projects have different investment. Both projects have different investment. So we need to provide some sensitivity analysis. How we can apply sensitivity analysis? So restaurant and hotel. For restaurant, we are providing a 5 million, while for hotel, we are providing 21 million. Restaurant providing us a NPV of a 0.65, while hotel providing us a investment of 2.893. Can you find out what is the percentage by applying 100? 5 million divided by 0.65 or NPV divided by investment. Investment divided by NPV or NPV divided by investment. I think NPV divided by investment. Apply this 5 million by 0.65 into 100. What's percentage you are getting? If we apply 0.65 over 5 million into 100, %. So NPV over investment. 0.65 over 5 million into 100 is 13%, and 2.893 over 21 into 100. How much is that? Per hotel. How much is that? 13.77. This we call return. We can say this is return on investment because both projects are having different investment. So if the investment is same, then we can decide based on NPV. If the investment is different, we need to calculate the return, and both projects providing same type of return. Hotel return is a little bit higher than restaurant. What else we can calculate from here? Can we calculate payback period? Payback period. We are investing 5 million. In first year, negative. Second year, 0.5 positive. Third year, 1 positive. Fourth year, 1.5 positive. Mean this will make it 5.5, and then 5, then 4, then 2.5, then 0.5. Mean the payback period for restaurant will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like how many years? 5 point something years. Mean going more than 5 years. While for hotel, 21, nothing. Remaining 17, remaining 12, remaining 6, and we can cover our investment in below 5 years, mean less than 5 years. Mean payback period for hotel is less than 5 years, while payback period for restaurant is more than 5 years. And according to company management, they have set a 5 years payback criteria according to finance director. So as per that, which option is acceptable? Hotel. According to return sensitivity analysis, which option is acceptable? Hotel. Though hotel is more risky, requiring more investment, but its payback period is lower and its return is a bit higher than restaurant. Exhibit 4, industry article, the seal and hospitality industry. Hospitality's importance as an industry sector. Now we are having information about hotel industry, hospitality industry in Sealand. The hospitality industry makes a major contribution to the Sealand economy and employs a large proportion of the population. It is a major sector in the economy. In some parts of Sealand, the industry is the main source of income and employment, like Dubai. Hospitality industry is main source of income. The industry is driven by the dependent on strong economy. The strength of the hospitality industry is a measure of the wealth in people pocket. So if people are having money, hospitality industry will be having revenue, will be having customer. If people don't have money, then hospitality industry will not be generating more revenue. Customers, not everyone wants the same type of service or food. There are different types of customers. The industry has to identify customer different needs and offers suitable service and food to match those needs. And these are the views of different types of customer. I want a cheap room, just somewhere to put my head down. I mean, there are some customers who want cheap room. I want luxury more than I would have in my own home. A TV with 20 channels and home movies, a mini bar and room service of the highest quality, as if I was actually eating in the restaurant itself. I mean, there are customers who want luxuries, high quality services in the room. I mean, there are different types of customer available in the industry. Spotlight on the future. Industry commentators expect another excellent year for the hospitality industry. The hotel industry is having bright future. The social factor is positive. That will help the Nehby company to generate revenue and make their position stable. Anticipating rising hotel occupancy rate as well as an increasing number of restaurant meals served in all type of restaurant. Mean future growth is high. In the last 12 months, revenue per available room, a performance metric used in the hotel industry, has increased from 116.7 to 118.4. Revenue per available room has increased. If in previously one room give you this income, now one room giving you this income. We can use this data into acceptability from management point of view or into suitability from objective point of view. Hotel used. The rate represents total room and related revenues divided by total available room. This is often used as a measure of performance yield for hotels. Over the same period, average daily rate achieved has remained consistent year on year. It's not like in a good season you are having more rate, in bad season you are having a low rate. No, rate is maintained the same. So every daily rate is the average daily rate per rented room or the main price charged for all hotel rooms sold in a given price. So this is also a factor that we need to consider. Mean social factor is positive. To maintain business position by investing in a hotel will be beneficial for the business. Restaurant plays a bigger role than ever in the hotel, and restaurant is unlikely to be sustained by the hotel guest alone. The demand for restaurant service has in the past been largely influenced by economic growth and the amount of available disposable income. Disposable income, the income left with the people that they can spend. Disposable income. So confidence should be increased both by a fall in unemployment 7.1% at the end of last year, down by 0.7% on the previous years. This means people purchasing power is going to be increased. This is a good economic factor for both restaurant and hotel sector. So this means investment is suitable from company point of view. Either they make investment in hotel Either they make investment in restaurant because economy is growing, unemployment rate has fallen, people are having more purchasing power. So both investment will seem suitable from generating revenue in position. And by the rate of GDP growth, which was higher last year than at the time in the past 7 years, GDP is also increasing. Main economic factor are positive for the business. Either they move to a restaurant or move towards hotel. Northern Regeneration Program, perhaps one of the most astonishing statistics regarding revenue per available room is that the rate is likely to increase faster in the North Sealand where regeneration program is underway to support the successful bid for the North to host a major sporting event in 2 years' time. And they are going to open a hotel in the north of Sealand. And in 2 years' time, there is a plan sport event going to happen. And that sport event will attract the tourists, will attract the foreigners, will attract the people where they will stay in hotels. So hotel revenue increase is having bright chances. So this we can include as a suitability point of view to make position stronger, to achieve objective. This can only be positive news as other countries who has hosted similar events have experienced millions of visitors each year for many years after the event. Mean there will be continued revenue growth. Even after the event, there will be more visitors. The Sealand government has unveiled wider ranging plans to dramatically transform and regenerate the north of a country, which has been given Sealand assisted area status, allowing companies which facilitate economic growth in the area to qualify for government grants. And we will also be able to get some support from the government in terms of government grant that will help in cost cutting to achieve objective of the organization. The attraction of the capital as a destination for tourism remain high, but the outlook for the north also offers attractive opportunities. Overseas visitors to Sealand will rise by 6,000 this year, the highest in the last 5 years. Where they will stay? In hotel. The good news is that the world has an aging population with more disposable income and a desire to travel. And Sri Lanka is a tourist area, attractive tourist area. Increased competition in the airline market has resulted in lower fares. This will also help to attract the visitors to generate revenue for the hotel business. Everything seems to be leading to increased travel, which is good news for the hospitality industry. Mean more opportunities are there that we can discuss in suitability. Suitability. Or we can discuss in acceptability as well from customer point of view. The feel good factor in the capital is now extending the other major cities, particularly in the north of country. We could have 3 times as many restaurants in the capital city. But there are not enough great site available and there is a fierce competition to acquire the best site. So it makes sense for a business to consider investment in north of Sealand. Trends set to be continued. Eco-friendly, responsible business practices are an important consideration for many consumers. Hotels and restaurants need to consider their wider contribution to society. Hotel guests are more conscious of environment problems and have started to consider the environment in their accommodation choice. This is also becoming valid for luxury hotels. The development of eco label is thus helping customer in their choice. Without cutting back on clients' comfort, many efforts can be made by the hotel management through the application of best available practices and technological innovation. Customers are environmental concerned, so hotel in the industry have to focus on that. Healthy options, healthy eating has become a mainstream dining trend in recent years with the arrival of the stealth health trend where chefs replace salt, fat, and sugar with healthy, bold flavors without promoting it to customers. Because customers now expect healthy options in all restaurants, chefs need to comply by offering them these options without sacrificing flavor. So customers are concerned about high quality, healthy options, and we are providing quality food from so many years. So this will also helpful for the business to attract a customer. Either we move towards restaurant, either we move towards hotel with restaurant. Technology, the industry is increasingly engaging with digital active consumer. People are aware about technology, digital active consumer who expect to be able to interact with brands on a personalized multi-channel basis and who are harnessing social media and mobile technology at an faster ever rate. Technology continues to have a multifaceted and substantial impact on the industry, with rising mobile phone usage, social network used to plan and share experiences, and big data being used to improve business process and intelligence to better deliver the customer promise. Talent. Talent is available in the country. Due to the economic stability we are currently enjoying in CNET, we are seeing much of the homegrown talent staying rather than the exodus we have seen in previous year for employment outside the country and in more stable economies. There are still countries which tend to train and recruit the best in the industry, and Sealand need to consider its training program so as not to fall behind the rest of the world. Mean talented, skilled people are available. That will help to run the operation either of restaurant, either of hotel. The hospitality sector is diverse and rapidly changing, and the challenges faced by hospitality business are wide ranging. These includes the need to attract the best talent, a mission harness technology, and a constant drive to improve customer satisfaction and experience. In this case study, the company information was before information about the industry. But now in pre-scene, they provide industry information at start and then they provide company information. This is old case study relating to old syllabus of SBL. But we are having all the information relating to company, business, as well as relating to industry. Exhibit 5. Extract from financial statement and period 12 monthly management accounts from the finance director John Nehby. Statement of profit and loss for the year ending 31st March 20x0. Sales less cost of sale is equal to gross profit less admin cost is equal to operating profit less finance cost mean interest is equal to profit before tax minus tax is equal to net profit. Statement of financial position as at 31st March 20x0. Non-current assets. In current assets, companies having inventory, trade receivables, cash, total current assets, total assets. In equity and liabilities, we are having share capital, retained earnings. Non-current liabilities, we are having long-term loans. In current liabilities, we are having bank loan, short-term loan, and overdrafts. Trade payables, tax payable, other payable, total liabilities. In feasibility, we can use different ratios as well. And we have read if company need financing either for restaurant or hotel and they are moving towards a bank require your gearing should not be more than 45%. How much gearing companies having now? Can we calculate gearing? Debt over debt plus equity. What is debt? Long-term debt. 1065. 1065 plus what is equity? Equity companies having 1233. I make it 34. Can you calculate what is the gearing? (46.3%). This means this is already above the required for the bank. This means company need to finance either of the project. They need cash to fund the project, but they will be having option of venture capitalist only rather than borrowing through bank loan, because according to bank loan, company gearing should be below 45%, while company gearing is already 46.3%. We can discuss this point in feasibility financial resources. Because company is having how much cash? Less than 1 million. Even they cannot finance the restaurant project from their cash available. So either they need finance through owners, personal investment, or they have to move towards financing from external sources, either venture capitalist or bank loan. But for bank loan, the condition your gearing must be below 45%, while companies are having 46% of gearing. This means bank loan option is not there. They have to move towards venture capitalist. That's it. Management accounts 20x0. Management accounts period 12 March 20x0 budget actual variance March 20x0. This means these are for 1 month and these cumulative for the years. These are for the complete year. Budget comparing with actual, they have found the variance. Sales turnover is negative in month even over the year. Less cost, food cost, labor cost, other cost, gross profit is positive, admin expense negative for over the year as well as for the month. Operating profit is negative for the month and over the year as well. Food cost per head budgeted is 16.3, actual is 15.90. Kitchen labor hours budgeted 25,000 while actually 27,000 in both over the month, over the years is having negative variance, mean they are using more kitchen hours. So note, to management accounts, admin expense include expenditure on accounting staff salaries, depreciation, rent, insurance on building. Where? Here. Food cost per head, total food cost divided by number of customers. In how they calculated food cost per customer. Kitchen labor hours include all level of staff working in the kitchen restaurant. Other companies having one, two products like McDonald's, KFC, or there will be so many products in a restaurant. So many. Some will be costly products, some will be low price product like starters. Even their cost will be different. In some products might be like green tea. What is your cost? The cost of boiled water only. And suppose you are selling in 10 dirham, there is a huge profit, more than 1,000% profit. While some other items like main course, there will be might be 10%, 20% margin. So how you can calculate food cost per head? There is some confusion. Even in your kitchen, there could be different levels of staff. There could be some expert, more experienced chef. There will be some helpers who are just helping the chefs. How you can calculate the labor hours? There is confusion. Even in admin expenses, you have calculated total figure is this and this include this, and having negative variance. So there should be detail. How much is salary? How much is depreciated? How much is rent? How much is insurance and building? So that we can see where actual are more than budget that need to be controlled. So detailed information is not given even for admin expenses. Let's see. Exhibit 6, too boring, too long, because there is no pre-scene. Pre-scene information is also included in exhibit. Exhibit 6, a transcript of an interview shown on Talking Stock, a scene and television program which look at business topics. Introduction by the television presenter. Venture capitalists have long played a vital role in helping entrepreneurs turn their vision into reality. Through venture capitalist, business owner can turn their dreams into reality, because if they are not having money, they can take money from venture capitalist type investors. They provide far more than just capital. They not only provide the money, the investment only, they also play important role in decision making, in strategy making as well. Where you are lacking, they will guide you, they will help you. They also provide the guidance, knowledge, and experience needed to transform a company. Connect Risk Capital, a venture capitalist. So, investment company Connect Risk Capital, a venture capitalist, was founded in 2001, investigating in both startups and established hospitality business headquarters in Sealand. We managed to get some time with one of the founders, Sam Redson. Who is Sam Redson? The founder of Connect Risk Capital, mean venture capitalist. And we are going to ask him a series of questions about the way venture capitalists operate in the hospitality industry. Mean how venture capitalists make investment, what they want, how they manage their investment. TV presenter, for how long do venture capitalists invest in a business? Because normally they don't make investment for longer term purpose. They withdraw after success with the business, then they will move towards any other new startup business innovative idea. So answer, we usually look to retain our investment for between 3 and 7 years. They make investment between 3 to 7 years. And our two projects, restaurant is having more than 5 years payback period, while hotel is having less than 5 years payback period. So they both investments seem aligned with expectation of a venture capitalist. In acceptability from venture capitalist point of view, if we need to engage him for finance, so both projects are acceptable from venture capitalist point of view, because venture capitalists invest from 3 to 7 years, and both projects are having payback period below 7 years. Even we have calculated their NPV based on 7-year cash flow. So the term of the investment is often linked to the growth profile of business. Investment is in more mature business where the business performance can be improved more quickly and easily are often sold sooner than investment in early stage or technology companies where it takes time to develop the business model. We expect robust risk management and control because investment decision will need to align with our appetite, and we expect a fast resolution of any risk issue so that return on investment can be maximized. And we make investment in growing business, and we make sure that there should be a high risk management and control system, and there should be quick resolution, quick decision making against risk. TV presenter, can you explain to us what is involved in the investment process? The key stage in investment process is the initial evaluation of business plan. In first, we see business plan and we evaluate it. It is important that realistic forecasts have been prepared. As an example, with a new hotel, we would expect a forecast occupancy rate to be cautious and not exceeding 50% in the first 2 years. This company calculated NPV based on 65% occupancy rate in first 3 years and then 85%. But venture capitalists require your calculation should be based on 50% occupancy rate, especially in first 2 years. In considering the business plan, the venture capitalist will consider several principal aspects. Is the product or service commercially viable? Is the business considering the external drivers of the future? Does the company have potential for sustained growth? Sustained growth means focusing on environment. Is the skill set in place or can it be recruited? Does the possible reward justify the risk? Venture capitalists need to be comfortable with their involvement. They want their involvement into the decision making as well. TV presenter, what does a venture capitalist expect of the company management? We expect a total commitment to the strategic direction. This would include not leaking cash in unnecessary expenditure like expensive company car and flamboyant offices when more cost-effective options will still serve the same purpose. Excessive salaries not linked to performance would be unacceptable, as we would expect reward to be linked to the achievement of business growth, and that we would identify at the outset of any decisions of our involvement. We encourage a formalized approach to planning with detailed control and feedback loops. Informal system should be in the organization. We also like to know how each part of business is performing and to consider each part of business as a profit center. Total figures for the business do not allow us to monitor any underperforming parts of the portfolio and identify where greater control might be needed. We keep our investment on track. Good management accounts are essential for this purpose. The business need to implement structure and support profit center reporting and encourage a focus on both business and customer needs. We accept that a fast decision might have to be made at the operational level to support customer satisfaction and business continuity. So some decentralized and autonomous decision making is encouraged. Is centralized decision making? What is decentralized? Centralized means decision made by the top management and imposed on lower level managers, employees, supervisors. They are not involved in making decision. They cannot decide by themselves. Decentralization. Decision-making power authority has been delegated to lower level. Mean local managers, local supervisor can make decision according to their local condition, and through this decision-making process will be quicker. So this has to be supported by centralized guidelines and controls. We not only decentralized, there should be long-term plan from top management as well. But lower level people will also be having power to make decision against small problems. TV presenter, why is the role of non-executive director important? Non-executive director, this means they are moving towards corporate governance now. It is normal for venture capitalists to place a non-executive on the board of its investee company to represent their interest, because they will ask the management to take decision in best interest of the company, best interest of the shareholder. This can either be one of its own fund manager or an individual who has social market and management expertise which will help deliver the corporate plan. We also like to have an input into the key management roles which might be needed for any new venture. Even with successful business, it is sometime right to bring in a new blood. TV presenter, is it important to be a responsible investor? Social environmental responsible. Many of our clients strongly support environmental and social initiative across their portfolio of companies. Target companies are assessed against a broad range of criteria. Environmental, social, governance, and sustainable companies would be to monitor on compliance with the policies and standards set out at the time of investment. Typically, quarterly report on performance would be required by venture capitalist. TV presenter, what else would you expect to see in the quarterly report? What would That would depend upon the critical success factor for the business we are considering investigating in and the sector in which it operates. As an example, a hotel has so much available data to collect and business need to be clever about collecting it. The business must understand what they are looking for and make sure it is actually measurable. Certain core key performance indicator KPIs have been established over the years. However, in recent time, alongside the rising in big data and data analytics, there has been a shift towards a more specific measures, focusing on not just revenue and profit per row, but return on per square meter, or how a hotel can best use the space available. TV presenter, what is the typical return expected? Typical investor can expect annual return of 20% or more on their investment, while our both projects are providing return of 30%. This will be the issue to get money from venture capitalists. Now move towards one by one each requirement. For requirement one, we have collected so many information that we can discuss under head suitability. From objective point of view, both options are suitable because both are having positive NPV. From history point of view, historically business has been grown in restaurant and they have achieved a good repute, good position in the market. They are among the best 50 restaurant in the Sealand. And hotel industry, they do not have any experience. And the investment risk is even higher than hotel industry that need to be considered. But both business operate in the same hospitality industry. The nature of customer is the same for both type of business. So this will not be a big deal for the Nehby company to manage hotel. We cannot say hotel completely doesn't meet this criteria. Both operate in same industry. So customer nature is the same and they know how to deal with the customer. From competition point of view, if they remain in restaurant industry and in future due to saturation market, entering of new competitors into the industry with huge investment, company will struggle. So moving towards hotel industry is a good idea from company point of view. Like if the restaurant market becomes saturated, they can generate their profit, their revenue from hotel as well. From position point of view, we can discuss different factors. Government providing grants if business make investment, especially in the north, where company is going to open its hotel. From position point of view, economic factor is positive, economy is in growth. So growth of business will provide revenue benefit for the business either in hotel, either in restaurant. Unemployment rate has gone down, disposable income of the people have increased, and this will help to attract more revenue, more customer either in a restaurant or hotel both. From position point of view, we are having information there is a sport event going to happen after 2 years that will attract more visitors, more customers. So introducing a hotel business will be having positive effect. So we can discuss some points here. From acceptability point of view, from customer point of view, both option will be accepted, especially the high rich class you are going to attract if you will provide the same quality services in hotel, customer will be happy. From management point of view, from CEO point of view, hotel is not acceptable because he want to maintain business in the current business like restaurant, but the all three sons who are having 60% holdings, they are having innovative ideas. They are looking for future of the business and they want business should move towards product diversification. From employee point of view, we don't need to discuss. Government point of view, we can discuss like government is also want some expansion of business opportunities in the Northland. That's why they are providing some government grants that help the business to achieve cost efficiencies and maintain its position. From venture capitalist point of view, we want 20% return while the both the investment are providing 13% return. So that company need to consider if they need investment from venture capitalists, so they need to consider it. From venture capitalist point of view, venture capitalists require or make investment for 3 to 7 years, and our both project are having payback period of about more or less of 5 years. Mean it's aligned with the venture capitalist. From management point of view, we need to discuss payback period. From finance director point of view, payback period should be 5 years, and project hotel project providing payback period less than 5 years, while restaurant project providing a payback period more than 5 years. So from finance sector point of view, according to payback period criteria of measurement, hotel seems more acceptable. Then we will discuss some feasibility like to open even a restaurant or open a hotel. Company need investment because companies having this much cash available like less than 1 million. Even for restaurant company need 5 million cash. So either they need to invest cash from their pocket or they need to move for external financing, either through equity, either through debt. If they move towards debt, there is a condition of the bank like your gearing should remain below 45%, while companies having gearing of more than 45%, like 46.3%. So that option is not there. This means company have to move towards venture capitalist. From human resources point of view, there is a shortage of labor in the industry, but there is a high staff turnover as well in the industry, and talent is available. So company can attract good talented people from the restaurant, other hotels having experience. Even companies having loyal customer, their staff turnover is low. They can recruit untrained people and they can make them train by working through their long-term employees, and they can move existing employees to the new restaurant or to the new hotels. For physical resources point of view, for restaurant, there is a one building that is on reserve. But if they leave that building, there will be no other option available to open a restaurant. For a hotel point of view, they have targeted a attractive building, former bank building that they can convert into a hotel that is on reserve. Even if they leave this building, there are still other properties available in the country where company can open a. So both options seems suitable. Both options seem acceptable from customer, from employees point of view, but from owner's point of view, 60% holding moving towards are in favor of a hotel, while 40% CEO holding is in favor of restaurant. From feasibility point of view, either company move towards hotel, either company move towards restaurant, they need external finance. And for external finance, they are having option of venture capitalists that are available in the industry. Have we provided a conclusion? They need 20% return. That's the issue that we need to consider. But venture capitalists are available. We can make some adjustment with that. So have we provided a final decision? No. Is the final decision required from us? No. Prepare a report which assess and appraise the two options from strategic perspective. Your report should allow the board of Nehby to compare and contrast the two options. You don't need to make a final decision. In previous case study, they asked for the final decision. So we provided them final decision, but here we don't need to provide final decision. We need to provide all the information for both options. Let's take a break. There may be any requirement we will discuss after 3 minutes. Nehby company. Requirement A only for 24 marks done. Requirement 2. Graham has been giving consideration to your assessment of the two available options for Nehby. Graham, the founder CEO, has been giving consideration to your assessment of the two available options for Nehby. He wants to understand more about how the new investment will affect the risk facing Nehby company and the factors to consider when deciding on the financing decision for acquiring the hotel. You want to consider factors, risk factors regarding decision to moving towards hotel. Prepare a briefing notes for the board of Nehby on the following. An explanation of the appropriateness of to Nehby company of diversifying risk by going into the hotel business. Diversification of risk. Just for 6 months. What is meant by diversification of risk? Means spreading risk. Diversification means spreading risk. How we can spread risk by taking insurance? We can transfer risk to insurance company. Or a business can spread risk by making investment in different sectors. But risk can be spread if you are making investment in different sectors and both sectors have negative correlation with each other. And if one sector is going down, other sector is going up. So that the loss of one sector investment you can recover from other sector. But here, either company move towards a restaurant, either company move towards a hotel, both are in the same industry, hospitality industry. So they are having positive correlation with each other. Because if customer disposable income goes down, economy goes down, purchasing power goes down, the complete hospitality industry will be having effect, either restaurant, either hotel. But if company make investment in new restaurant, that will not be a diversification policy. Moving towards a hotel, company is moving towards product development. Not in the same product, they are making investment in new product. Like if there is more competition in restaurant, they can generate their return from hotel industry as well. So putting investment into hotel is much better to cover the risk relating to one sector of investment. For 6 marks, we can make 3 paragraphs. First, we need to explain what is diversification, risk diversification. Then we will say risk diversification should be where returns are negatively correlated, but they are putting investment in same industry, having positive correlation. But as compared to restaurant, hotel investment is much better as company is moving towards product development rather than putting investment in same business. And part B for 8 marks. Consideration of the key factors which will influence the financing structure the board of Nehby company might choose. Factors of financing. The company need finance to open either restaurant or hotel. And they are having option of what? Either debt, either equity through venture capitalist. What factors they need to consider regarding the financing? Factors They need to consider regarding the financing. They need to consider the factor how much cash you required. And for making investment either 5 million, either 21 million, they don't have enough cash available in their hand. They are having less than 1 million cash in their hand. This means they need to move towards either equity or debt. They need to focus on cost while moving either towards equity or either towards debt. Which is more costly, equity or debt? Equity is more costly. To get finance through equity is more costly because in equity you need to involve different brokers, different agents who will find shares holder for you, who will sell your share in the market and they charge commission against a share. Bank, you are having that deal with the bank, you don't need to provide any commission to. Mean issue cost of equity is higher than debt. But debt is having an ongoing regular cost of interest payments. Either you are generating profit or not, you have to pay the interest. While in case of equity, you will pay return to the equity holder if you are having profit. If you are not having profit, you don't need to pay return to the equity holder. So from this prospect, equity venture capitalist is a best option rather than moving towards debt. What else you need to consider? You need to consider security. Moving towards debt, you need some asset to provide as a security. And if you are moving towards a hotel, because he say you need to evaluate it with the decision of acquiring hotel, if you see you are having how much non-current assets, how much non-current assets you are having? Only 1.6 million. While you are going towards a hotel and you require 21 million loan. So these non-current assets are not enough that you can provide as a security to get a loan from the bank. This means they should move towards equity through venture capitalist because they don't require any security. What else you need to consider? You need to consider gearing. If you are moving towards debt, your gearing will become much higher than existing. And company existing gearing is already 46%. If they move towards debt, gearing will be even more, and more gearing mean company is moving towards insolvency. Higher risk of insolvency of the company that could create problem for the company. So to remain low geared company should move towards equity, mean taking money through venture capitalist. What else you need to consider? You need to consider exit route. Mean how you will get exit from this finance. In case of debt, you need to pay back either in 5 years, either in 10 years. And whether you will be able to pay back at that time, there is a question mark. In case of equity, company never ever pay back to shareholder. If shareholder want their money, they can sell their shares in the market. They cannot ask the company, okay, give back my investment. No. So equity investment is for life, but for venture capitalists, they investing 3 to 7 years, but they will never ask the company give my money back. They can withdraw their money. How? By selling shares in the market. So this factor also we need to consider while finding source of finance, from which source we should get the money back. Even in cost, we can use an ratio called interest cover. How to calculate interest cover ratio? Profit before interest and tax divided by interest. Profit before interest and tax divided by interest. And if we look at company interest cover, we're having interest profit before tax data. Interest is 53,000. Profit before interest and tax is 1194. Can you calculate interest cover? 1194 divided by 53. Point five. This means company can make 22 interest installment from its given profit. The higher is better. But if you are moving towards a loan for 21 million, your debt is already how much against which you are paying loan? This long-term debt as well as bank overdraft. Currently you are paying interest how much? 53,000. Currently you are paying 53,000 on these two amounts. Can you add these two amounts? Can you add these two amounts? 1065 plus 139, 140. 1065 plus 140, it's 1205. 1204. If this 1204 is the loan, against this you are paying interest of what? 53. If you multiply by 100, you will get an interest rate. How much is that? 4.4% is your interest rate. This means after getting loan of 21 million for the hotel, this will increase 1204 plus 21,000. 1204 plus 21,000. This will become how much? 204. And if we apply interest on this amount, like 4.4%, 977. And we compare this 977 to your available profit to arrive at interest cover, then your interest cover for the very next period will be 1.2% times. Even from that point of view, moving towards bank loan is not suitable for the company. Because current you are having 22 interest cover, mean you can pay 22 interest installment from your given profit. And if you move towards a loan, your loan will increase and you will be paying 4.4 interest rate. Mean for next year, your profit will remain same because hotel is having a zero cash inflow in first year. This means your profit will remain same and your interest expense will be moving towards 9,777 instead of 53. So your interest cover will drop to 1.2. Interest cover dropping. This means company is moving towards insolvency, mean higher risky, mean near to death. So even from that point of view, moving towards a bank loan mean debt is not beneficial for the company. Company need to seek finance through equity. So we can discuss these factors in financing decision. This factor we have already covered in notes, I think so. If you see the notes, here we have covered these factors. In finance chapter, cost, control mean your control of the business, mean your holding will be eliminated in case of equity. In case of debt, obviously bank will be having control over your asset. You need to see for availability which option is available for company. Looking at gearing, that option is not available. You need to see for gearing, security, exit route. So requirement A for 1 for 24 marks, requirement B for 18 marks. Done. Now moving towards requirement 3. Following a board meeting which discussed your report on the two options, the board is in complete agreement that the hotel renovation and running a hotel in the strategic direction they have chosen to pursue. So finally, they have decided moving towards opening a hotel. John recognizes that renovating the former bank building and transforming it into a hotel will be a major project, and adequate measures will need to be put in place to track how well the project is doing and to ensure overall objectives are achieved. And they are moving towards project. Isn't a project? New task that you haven't done before or that you not normally do in your routine. So they are moving towards project. Prepare a report for John. Two from subject date introduction. Recommendation with justification of the measures which will be important for tracking all major project variables to ensure satisfactory progress towards the achievement of the project goal and the successful opening of the hotel. And you need to provide recommendation what they need to consider in making this project successful. In what they need to measure, mean you need to provide some project variables that they need to consider in making this project successful. We have learned project management. There are 5 stages: plan, initiation, planning, execution, control, completion. Initiation, we prepare business case. Planning, we prepare different project plans. In business case, what they need to consider? They need to consider different constraints of the project. What are the constraints of the project? Cost, time, scope, mean work. So these 3 variables we need to discuss separately. They need to focus on the cost for completing this project. Though initially they have measured 21 billion investment is required for this project, but they need to monitor this cost over the life of the project. Because if there will be more cost involved, this project might not be viable for the company because they not have enough cash available. Even a 1 million more cost will create problem for the company. They will not be able to complete the project successfully because company is currently having short of cash. So cost they need to consider properly against each stage of the project. Against each stage of developing a hotel, it requires 9 months a time period. So they need to consider how much cost is required in first month, and after first month, they need to measure it and check it against budget, compare with budget, so that if there is any deviation, they need to take some corrective action so that at the end project should be completed according to the budget cost. They need to prepare proper budget. They need to consider time as well. They have set 9 months time period to complete the project. So they need to reassess the timing of each phase, each stage of the hotel, because they need to convert the former bank building into hotel, requiring some construction, requiring some implementation, requiring some recruitment of staff, requiring some decoration work. So they need to set the timing for each activity, each phase of their project. Not only they need to set the time, they need to monitor whether everything is going to be complete as per the planned time or not, because the slippage mean any delay will result into failure of the project. And then they need to focus on the scope mean quality, because their history is depend upon quality. Quality is their core belief against which they have become successful. So they need to consider quality of the building, quality of the implementation, quality of the staff training, quality of the services they are going to provide, because due to poor quality, they might be affecting their repute. They might be losing even their existing customer. So they have to focus on quality as well. What else they need to focus in project management? There should be regular review and monitoring to see whether everything is going as per plan or not. Because if there is any slippage as compared to plan, so that they can take corrective measures on time, so that project should be completed as per plan. What else they need to consider? Project team. Whether people working on this project are having experience, because they are moving towards building a high quality hotel to target elite group. So they must ensure like project team have experience of building this kind of a hotel in the past. If the project team lacking experience of building a high level hotel, they need to recruit either staff from within the country, from other areas, or from outside the country, so that they can maintain the quality expected by the customer. What else they need to consider? I think 4 headings are enough for 8 months. Project management, IT, project management, IT, even finance, our favorite area of our examiner. John also recognized that as a result of choosing the hotel project and the size of the investment required, Nehby will need to secure equity funding from a venture capitalist. To secure the investment, the expectation of the venture capitalist will need to be taken into consideration. And what are their expectations? We have seen in the his interview. We have seen in the interview what he required. Formal decentralization along with centralization, formal risk management system, involvement into the decision making, cost cutting, non-executive director inclusion, mean formal governance structure. So to secure the investment, the expectation of the venture capitalist will need to be taken into consideration, which will require changes to the governance and culture of the business. Requirement B. The report should also include the following: an explanation of the implication both for the board of Nehby and for how the business is managed of the governance changes needed should the venture capitalist provide the equity funding needed for the hotel project. What will be the changes in governance board structure after including venture capitalist? Yep, covered one question. The very first question we covered lump, the difference between family business and listed business. So we can make some points. Currently, in a family business, they are focusing on long-term decision making, growth of the business, rather than short-term decision making relating to higher profitability. By having external investor like venture capitalist, now the decision making pattern will be changed. Like business have to focus on short-term objective like profit maximization as well as long-term objective of the existing board members. What else? Formal decision making. Before including venture capitalists, the board members are all family members, dominated by the father decisions. There was informal decision making. They were not conducting regular based meetings, but now they have to be bit more formalized. There should be formal meeting to make a decision with the inputs of all the stakeholders, especially the new investor, venture capitalists will be involved in that decision making. Inclusion of non-executive director. Before venture capitalist business is not listed, there is no requirement of including non-executive director. But now including venture capitalist means they have to comply with corporate governance, and venture capitalists required like there should be a non-executive director who is representing the investors, shareholders, who is sharing his expertise in decision making, who is challenging short termism or personalized decision making of the current board. So they need to consider views of the non-executive. They need to provide value to the non-executive director. And by considering non-executive director and outside person into decision making, could create some conflict among the board members. This will be the change in board members. What else? Company need to implement a risk management committee as well. Because according to venture capitalist, he want robust risk management in the business. And to focus on business risk, to prepare risk management strategy, now company have to establish a risk management committee in the business as well. Now company need to implement a formal internal control system in the business. Because venture capitalists require a formal system in the business, having the strong controls, policies, procedures that everybody should follow. Not only they need to implement internal control system, they need to review internal control system on the regular basis so that they can improve it furthermore. But in marks, we can make 5 points. What is the difference between family business and listed company? Requirement C for 12 good marks. An analysis of the current culture of Nehby and an assessment of how the culture may need to change to align with the strategic aim of venture capitalists and external stakeholders. Shareholders. What is the current culture? And what will be the changes in culture due to inclusion of venture capitalist? Culture. On culture, we have covered some models. We have covered some elements of culture. We have covered 4 types of culture: power culture, role culture, task culture, people or person culture. Here we need to discuss about elements of culture. What are the elements of culture according to cultural web? There are 6 elements of culture: symbols, routines and rituals, organization structure, power structure, control system, and stories. And the combination of all the paradigm. Have we covered this model on culture, cultural web? Yes, we have covered this. In strategic implementation, symbols mean show offs, logo, building, what business show off to others. And in this question, we have learned that CEO is using his expensive car. They are having some highly decorated offices. This is the current culture, but venture capitalist is not in favor of this. I mean, now the show off will be the highly formalized rules, highly line organization environment for achieving objective of the organization. They need to show the quality of services they are going to provide. Routines and rituals mean the way business is doing. And currently they were running a restaurant of a high quality restaurant. They were focusing on quality only. But now, by including of the venture capitalists, they need to focus on cost control as well. In routine, not only they need to focus on quality, as well as with some cost control to generate high profit for the venture capitalist. Organization structure in either formal or informal. Till now, the business owned by the family members, and they were running through might be informal structure, like there is only one CEO and 3 other directors. I mean, 3 other directors were checking against each function. One is monitoring finance function, one is monitoring operation function, one is monitoring HR and marketing function. But now they need to be more formalized. Might be now they need to move towards divisional structure, because now they are moving towards a different sector of business hotel. So restaurant sector is one division, while hotel is another division, where they need to appoint a divisional manager, and divisional manager will be responsible for performance of that division. So there will be change in structure as well. Power structure. Who has power? And what sort of power? In an organization, who has power and what sort of power? In current culture, previous culture, Nehby family have the power to influence the decision making, and they were working on centralized decision making. Now, By including venture capitalists, they need to move towards decentralization, mean they need to delegate some decision-making power to lower level managers as well as they should retain centralized decision-making power for long-term planning. Control system, mean what is measured and how it is measured. Currently, they were operating in restaurant industry. They might be just measuring what quality of services. They might be just measuring what gross profit or operating profit. But now they are moving towards hotel industry through venture capitalists. And for hotel industry, according to venture capitalists, they need to measure occupancy rate as well. They need to measure revenue per available room. They need to measure revenue, sorry, what was the rate per day of room as well. Mean there will be new measurement, there will be new performance measurement that they need to focus on that they were not focusing before. Per, revenue per square feet or margin per square feet, revenue per square feet, they need to measure. Mean how best they are utilizing the available space. Stories mean history of the organization and hot topic that everybody discuss in the organization. The current history was based on what the restaurant like a film scene restaurant and based on high quality restaurant, highly renovative restaurants. But now the story need to be changed. Now they need to discuss about their diversification from restaurant to hotel industry, how they have evolved their business from restaurant to hotel, and how they are moving towards their future strategic direction, mean where they want to be in the future. And the paradigm, the main culture, currently might be they were running on power culture because only Nehby family is having a power to influence everything. But now they move towards role culture. Mean everybody will be performing a role, having a formal system because venture capitalists will be involved in the decision making. So there will be responsibilities divided into different people who will look at the hotel, who will look at the restaurant, who will look at the restaurant in one area, in other area. Mean now the culture will be totally changing towards role culture instead of path culture. Model, complete model application there. Culture, existing and new culture. In for each head, you need to discuss what is existing and what will be the new. Requirement 4. The popular television program Talking Stock has just broadcast an episode which include an interview with venture capitalist. You have advised the board of Nehby to watch the episode with a view to understanding the need for improvement in the information currently presented in the management accounts and the additional information which will need to be provided in the future. You are then going to deliver a presentation to the board regarding their current management accounting information. Prepare a presentation with appropriate number of slides. Slides mean boxes. In boxes, we need to put the bullets, and under the box, we need to provide some explanation. Number of slides and accompanying notes to support your findings covering the following items. For 6 marks, identification of the weaknesses of the current management accounting information in supporting decision making for the restaurant business. And in management accounts, we have identified some weaknesses. What were the weaknesses we have identified? This was the management accounts. So we'll put one box, slide 1, weaknesses, heading. What are the weaknesses? What are the weaknesses? Sales have been declined, not only for the month, for the whole year as well. But companies are having different types of products, not having a single type of product. Even the price of the product is different. So there should be a detail about each product sales. Our sales should be provided for each restaurant at least separately, so that a company can see which restaurant is having lower sale as compared to budget, which restaurant is achieving budget, which restaurant is exceeding budget, so that a company can ensure the target restaurant, and company can take some decision how to improve the sale of that targeted restaurant who is having lower sale as compared to budget. So we need to explain about sales here. And this is weakness in this. Like we cannot identify where companies are having low sale, where company need to take some steps for it. Because if there are 8 restaurants, so you need to provide sale restaurant wise. Next, admin expenses. Admin expenses. Admin expenses. So admin expenses include staff salaries, depreciation, rent, insurance on a building. I mean, there are so many categories of expenses involved. So there should be a detail of each expense, because expenses are more than budget. This means companies not achieving cost efficiencies, but where company need to take some step where they need to control the cost. Without having detail of all the expenditure, company cannot understand the reason and cannot plan even where they need cost control. Either they need cost control in staff salaries, depreciation, rent, insurance. Detail should be provided. What else? Operating profit has declined by 9,400, while gross profit is positive. Obviously, operating profit has declined due to admin expenses, but might be some restaurants are running on profit, some are running on loss. So there should be a detail of each restaurant separate, so that a company can find where the loss is going to happen, so that a company can take steps so that the profitability areas should not be having tight controls. They should be running on the way they are doing business, and business need to take step for those restaurants where they are incurring losses. What else? Food cost per head. How you have measured this? Because companies having different foods, and all food will be having different costs. Some are very low cost, like tea. Some are high cost, like main course. So there should be a detail about each product or categories of different products. And then kitchen labor hours. There is a various negative variance even in the month, even for the year as well. But in kitchen, there are different level of staff available. Some expert, highly expert chefs are there who are charging more. Might be they are working lesser hours. There could be some helping staff who are working more hours. So there should be a detail about a different level of staff so that the company can measure where they are having negative variance. Though company employees are working more than the required hours, more than the average hours of the industry. If they are working more, so there is some variance. So who are the employee who are working more so that the company can control either by having additional staff or by taking some steps how to reduce these hours. So this is part for A for 6 marks only. Part B. Recommendation for improvements to management accounting data which identifies the key performance indicators which should be included in the monthly management accounts to support decision making for the hotel business. Mean you need to recommend some key performance indicators that business need to measure. That has been provided in the interview with Mr. Venture Capitalist. The very last paragraph. Company need to measure what? What company need to measure? They need to measure occupancy rate. So in DABA, KPIs, occupancy rate. They need to measure return per square meter. How return per square meter can be measured? Revenue divided by total area in square feet. They need to measure what? What else they need to measure? What else they need to measure? What else they need to measure? There were some ratios. Here we have discussed some ratios. Yeah. They need to measure revenue per available room. They need to measure average daily rate so that they can compare with the industry as a whole. Revenue per available room, average daily rate. So revenue per available room, average daily rate, as well as they need to measure their environmental performance as well. Environmental KPIs. Because venture capitalists also want a business should operate sustainably. They need to measure some social KPIs as well. Like how much benefit business has provided to the society in terms of employment opportunities, in terms of donations, in terms of charities as well. And they not should only measure financial KPIs. There should be some non-financial KPIs like they need to measure customer performance through customer satisfaction. They need to measure employee satisfaction. They need to measure internal business processes. How they can measure internal business processes? They need to measure efficiency. They need to measure innovation like how many new dishes business have introduced for the customer. Because if you are providing the same dishes to the customer, might be customer want to have something new taste. So you need to introduce new dishes through innovation as well. So how many dishes business have introduced in last year? They need to measure this. Because if there is no new dishes introduced, your customer might be moving towards other businesses. It should produce that much revenue per dish, right? Yeah, exactly. So these are the measures that they need to focus on. General, according to the scenario. A good case study, a long case study, where we have applied some models, some general requirements were there. JSW 3-stage model we have applied in part A. In part 2, we have discussed risk diversification. We have discussed about the factors. We have applied family difference between family and listed company business. We applied cultural web, and requirement 4 was relating to data available in the question only. That's enough for today. Till now, we have covered 4 case studies. Pre-scene 1, pre-scene 2. One I shared through YouTube. Case study 1. Case study 3 we have covered. So we have covered 4. You have covered 4 case studies with me. 3 in the classroom, 1 through YouTube. One case study 2 I have shared that you will cover by yourself. And remaining pre-scene is out there. I don't think so. We need to cover that pre-scene in the classroom. There'll be only information about the industry and the business. There'll be only information about the industry and the business. Let's see. Might be I'm having that pre-scene. Let's see how it look like. Pre-scene. Insert. Pre-scene is there. Pre-scene of December. I haven't included here. Let me check. SBL. Yes, pre-scene for March 24. It looks similar, the pre-scene we have covered. Part 2 case studies. There's information about the industry, soccer, football industry, like information of different clubs, how they are working. There's information about the industry sector, some financial information. What are the earnings? What are the risks they are having? Who are the stakeholders involved? Leading teams in Kellyland mean area where that industry is operating. And some key performance indicators, revenue, player salaries, earning before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization mean profit before interest, tax, and depreciation. Relevant earning for financial fair play regulation, cash flows, players' sales and purchase, capital expenditure, non-financial league position of men's first team and other teams. Mean whether they have met diversity in the team or not, mean they are involving new players into the team or not, average match attendance as a percentage of stadium capacity, average match attendance as a percentage of stadium capacity mean occupancy rate of the stadium, number of season ticket holder, club website hits. Similar to this question, like we have measured different KPIs, compliance with applicable regulations, laws, sport laws, country laws, they are following or not. And then information about the company, board structure, same like the pre-scene two we have covered, pre-scene one, pre-scene two. Information about the company, company website, mean what are their values, and financial graphs. Total revenue has increased over the years. Revenue per type increase. Revenue they are generating from different sources. Earning before interest, tax, and depreciation amortization has decreased over the year. Relevant earning for FFPR, what is FFPR? Might be they have mentioned in the question, has reduced over the year. So this is their performance. What you need to do, you need to attempt the 5 case studies we have covered so far by hand, written practice. And then at least read this pre-screen 3 times before going to paper. Especially the case study we have covered today. From that, you will be able to understand how to calculate these KPIs, how to discuss these KPIs relating to the business. What will be the requirement? We know. From this, there will be some requirement regarding KPIs, defined KPIs for the business. There will be some comparison of financial performance for the business relating to these KPIs against industry, or might be current year with previous year. There could be some requirement regarding the corporate governance board structure because they have provided board structure. Like these are the executive directors, there are only 2 non-executive directors. And there could be some information about the law regulations as well. What else could be there? What are these? Position league, stadium capacity, revenue. These are relating to KPIs. There will be some requirement regarding the risk. Might be they have provided some information about risk faced by the company, how business should manage those risks using PARA framework. Media coverage, relevant income, relevant expenses. Mean what are the expenses of the company? What are the income sources of the company? From where company is receiving money? Through sponsorship, through media by selling their coverage to the media channels. And what are their expenses, salaries to the employee, amortization of transfer costs, loss of disposal on tangible non-current assets. What could be the asset for a football club? There could be motor vehicle, there could be furniture and fixture, might be they are having a building as well. How they are financing, they might be financing through loan, they might be financing through equity investors as well. And investor might be the big players are also involved. So read this. If there is any issue, I'm available here. But before reading this, you need to attempt all the 5 case studies we have covered so far. 4 we have covered. 1 you will need to cover by yourself. Is it fine? Do we need to conduct any other class? I've seen at least half should be non-executive director. I mean, executive should not be more than non-executive. Non-executive more is better. so that they can challenge their decision properly. Yeah, they are not complying. They are having 2 non-executive, but 6 executive director. So wish you best of luck. Now onward, you're having how many days? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday is your paper. Monday or Tuesday? Tuesday is your paper. So cover these 5 case studies. If you like, I can share 1, 2 case studies more for practice. Just cover by yourself by reading the answers so that you'll be familiar what kind of requirement examiner can ask. After covering 5 to 7 case studies, you can attempt a paper easily. But at least these 5 should be covered through written practice. Especially today's case study. After reading the answer, try to attempt this, especially the last part of KPIs and financial performance. So that's enough. Good luck. In case of any issue, I'm here.